What is happening, everybody? I am the Architect, and today I am back in front of my bookshelf to bring you guys another one of my reading logs, this time for October of 2020. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. I probably won't cover everything that I read this month, just a few series that I really focused on, mostly. But I really want to know what you guys are reading, so if you would put those down in the comments. I love reading your guys' comments and your suggestions and all that, so go ahead and put that down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and get into what I read. So starting things off, it should come as no surprise that I read Volume 6 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, I've mentioned in past videos that I wasn't exactly sold on this manga from the first volume. But I can safely say now, after reading mainly Volume 5 and Volume 6, that I am now completely on board with this story. This story has really taken a turn for the better as soon as the Goodwill event started. Especially in the last couple of volumes, because you get to see these battles between these different Jujutsu sorcerers and the curses, and you get to see everybody's abilities and quirks and personalities and these backstories, and I'm telling you, man, it is super interesting, and the action is just top notch. I really cannot wait to get into more of this. In fact, I actually went onto the Shonen Jump app and read a couple of chapters after this, and I don't usually read manga digitally. In certain cases I will, but it has to be a series that I'm super interested in order for me to read digitally. It's just me. So that should tell you right there that this story has just taken off. Gojo is absolutely OP, but it's not in a way that's cheesy like a Kirito type of situation. All right, Gojo is used in a way where it's not the wild card that just you throw in and he kills everything, although kind of. But the way they're utilizing Gojo and his abilities at this point is really good, and Gojo is the boss. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm on board. I've been watching the anime. The anime is killing it right now. Go check out the anime if you're not a reader of the manga, but I guarantee you it'll make you want to read more of the story, because holy crap, guys, it gets good. It gets good. And speaking of clever segues, I read the 6th book of Vinland Saga, and I've actually broken into book 7 already. I don't know if there's much more I can say about this series right now. It just keeps getting better and better and better. The second half of this book, I'm guessing probably technically volume 12, because these are 2-in-1s. The second half, like chapters 79 through 86 of this, the story with Gardar and Arnheid, some of the best stuff in the entire manga so far. Had me absolutely hooked, had me just dying to see what happens, man, because just when you think it was gonna go one way, it went another. It is just beyond description how good this is. I'm so glad that I have the rest of the series that's available physically at this rate, because oh my gosh, it is the best. It is my favorite. I can't imagine anything beating passing this on my top manga list. Although who knows, there's still a lot of stuff that I haven't gotten into, a lot of really good stuff that I'm going to be getting this month. So stay tuned for my manga haul. It'll probably be a 2-part manga haul this time. It's a little bit of a cheap plug for my future, whatever. But anyway, yeah, Vinland Saga just keeps getting better, man. It just keeps getting better. I was almost in tears at the end of this. I mean, I am a little bit of a crybaby when it comes to emotional stuff, but still, check this out, man. You will, if Vinland Saga. Do I have to recommend Vinland Saga at this point? I mean, people should know. You should know. It's Vinland Saga. It's great. Boy, I was slapping the cover of that like I was a used car salesman. Anyway, we're moving right along with the reading log here, and we're continuing with Comey Can't Communicate, Volume 3, and I've already broken into Volume 4. I'm actually reading it right now. I'm probably going to be reading it and finishing it right after I finish this video. But yeah, this series continues to just be super charming. and just a really, really sweet and quick read. This volume kind of revealed a little bit more. about Comey. For example, like, spoiler alert, it seems that she got her social anxiety from her dad, because apparently they have a system of communicating where they don't have to actually talk to each other. They just know what the other one's thinking. And yeah, it's just great, man. It is very, very sweet. There's one particular moment where you kind of get in a little bit into Comey's mindset, where she feels really, really bad because she thinks she ruined her friend's fun day. And you get a little bit of just the insecurities that she feels, and then her friend Tadano immediately does something to cheer her up, and it's just so sweet. And it's just great. I really enjoy reading these volumes. They're very, very quick volumes, and again, the artwork is just too fun. I mean, the way that they draw Comey, I mean, I just love this every time I see that face. Definitely going to be getting more of this. The story has a very good way of just making you relate to Comey's struggles, at least for me. Anybody who struggles or has struggled with social anxiety can very much relate to Comey and her struggles. Her friends are super quirky. I mean, she's got some really weird friends at this point, but they all have their fun little quirks, and it's just fun. It's fun. That's the best way I can describe this. Going to be getting more of this, and still hoping for the anime, but we'll see. We'll see. And moving on to a series that I just started this month, I got into Grand Blue Dreaming Volume 1. I've heard a couple other manga tubers really sing the praises of this, and I saw that Right Stuff had a sale on it this past month, so I'm like, why not just pick up the first 3 volumes and see if it really is as good as they say. And so far, it's interesting. This is the epitome of pretty much a dude bro manga, if there ever is one. It definitely has that sort of college type humor. I think the back mentions like American Pie and The Hangover, which I can definitely see that. I can definitely see where they get that. It's basically about a guy named Iori who's on his way to university, stays at his uncle's diving shop, and is basically forced to join the diving club at this school. And I tell you right now, there's been little to no diving in this volume thus far. It's been mainly partying and drinking, and a lot more naked dudes than I was expecting, to be honest. But I mean, I guess you take what you can get. Anyway, it is certainly funny. There's been a lot of like misunderstandings and really awkward situations for Iori. He's kind of adjusting to the college life and really hanging with just the most just outlandish type of dudes that you can imagine. And I mean, just look at this back cover, man. I mean, that if this doesn't tell you what you have in store for this manga, I don't know what will. It is definitely interesting. It's gotten some legitimate laughs out of me thus far, especially when the guys are trying to help him like fix his room up to impress the one girl so he can go out to party and all that, to prove that he's like a mature young man. And yeah, it is really, really funny. I'm cracking up just thinking about it right now. Yeah, so far so good with this. I have the other 2 volumes I can crack into anytime. Grand Blue Dreaming seems like it might be quite a fun trip, so I'll be checking out more of that. And finally, I almost forgot, as a matter of fact, I gotta get this behemoth out of here. Oh my good lord. This is Clover. I mentioned this in my manga haul video. I did read this. It barely fits in the shop, man. This thing is still like super big. So yeah, I read the entire book, all 4 volumes, the entire series of Clover this month in one sitting, basically. I mean, honestly, for it being a 4-volume series, it took me no time. It took me like an hour maybe to read through this, because there are entire sections, entire parts of the manga, pages and pages, where there's little to no dialogue. It's mainly like scenery and very, very interesting and abstract ways of designing the panels and pages and such. The story is really, really hard to get into, to be honest. It essentially focuses a lot on these 2 songs that this musical artist in the story wrote, and those lyrics are repeated throughout the book, and I guess it basically sets the theme of this. You have these beings called Clovers that are just super powerful magical beings that are more powerful than the so-called wizards in this world. You have a bunch of 3-leaf clovers that are so powerful that it would take all of the wizards to defeat. And then you have the 1 4-leaf clover, this girl here, who is just so insanely powerful that she must be kept isolated all the time, away from society. And of course, well, you can imagine that that doesn't exactly work as planned. And aside from that, it is very, very hard to talk about it because this is unfinished. This does not have an official ending. The first half of the manga kind of leads you to her finding this guy who had a relationship with the singer that she had a friendship with, a sort of a telekinetic connection to in a way. And it basically shows her journey to trying to be free and figure out what love means and all that sort of stuff. And the second half is pretty much all a flashback, and it's a little bit disjointed, kind of confusing as to like the series of events. But overall, it is certainly probably the most unique thing that I've read, mainly just because of the panels and the sceneries. I mean, well, I happen to turn to that particular image, which that's actually pretty impressive. I mean, the artwork is very, very pretty and very beautiful in a lot of these cases. But I mean, look at the setup of these panels, man. It is different than any other manga that I can think of that I've ever read in terms of how it's laid out and stylized. So that I have to give it some pretty good marks. I mean, these nice little color pages as well. It's definitely an interesting story. This is not something that I would recommend to a first-time manga reader because it is so different than a standard manga. First of all, it's a shoujo, which not everybody is interested in shoujo. And secondly, it's just so abstract and very much just different. And so I don't know if I can necessarily recommend this, at least not to a first-time reader, but I don't regret buying this. It definitely was a unique experience, and it does make me want to check out more of what Clamp has to offer. You know, maybe it wasn't the greatest idea to get into Clamp with one of the stories that they did not finish, but this is definitely interesting. I don't regret buying it, and it was an experience, so I enjoyed it for what it was. So that is that. Damn, that book is still freaking huge. So guys, that's going to do it for this little reading log video. I try to keep this relatively short, but I tend to ramble, so it might be a little bit longer than I anticipated. If you stayed for the whole thing, though, I appreciate you, and I'd appreciate it even more if you gave me a like down below, or dislike, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want. But if you like this kind of content, anime and manga, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have a manga haul video coming out in probably a week. It'll probably be a 2-part video because there's just a lot and I am waiting for some stuff to come in, but definitely look forward to that. Check out my social media for any kind of updates of when videos come out, when stuff comes in, some behind the scenes stuff, and all that good fun, man. Thanks for coming along with this journey with me, guys. And on that note, I am the Architect, and I'll see you in the next video.
Perfect.